Hi, everybody. Tonight we're continuing on with our series on the categories of verbal abuse. And tonight's category is number 6, accusing and blaming. A favorite tactic of my narc, whom I affectionately refer to as King Infant. Patricia Evans writes, a verbal abuser will accuse his partner of some wrongdoing or of some breach of the basic agreement of the relationship, blaming his partner for his anger, irritation, or insecurity. In this she gives an interaction like the partner says, somehow I feel closed off from you, and then the abuser furiously says, I don't need to be attacked like that. In this interaction, the verbal abuser accuses his partner of attacking him. In this way, he avoids all intimacy and all possibility of exploring his partner's feelings. I used to get that one a lot. Another example she gives, the abuser says, where's my wrench? And the partner says, I think the kids left it in the back of your car. The abuser angrily says, I never asked you. The partner says, what are you so angry about? And the abuser says, you knew it was a rhetorical question. There's that assumption that we're mind readers. I used to get that one a lot. He used to get very, very angry when I could not read his thoughts. The partner is accused of responding to an expression phrased as a question only for dramatic effect and not to seek an answer. Also, the abuser is blaming his partner for his anger by telling her that she knew she wasn't supposed to answer. Here's one that's familiar to me. The partner says, honey, I'm real tired tonight. And the abuser says, if you're not getting it from me, then tell me who you're getting it from. The partner's communication is not accepted, and she is accused of infidelity and thus blamed for the abuser's insecurity. The implication is meant to goad her into submission. Following are some accusing and blaming statements. To most partners, they are very painful because usually the partner wants more than anything to assure her mate that she is not the enemy. You always have to have the last word. You're just trying to pick a fight. You're looking for trouble. You're attacking me. You can't leave well enough alone. I've had it with your attacks, bitching, complaining, fill in the blank with your narc's favorite accusation. Yes, my narc used that tactic a whole lot. And it sort of goes hand in hand with projection. They will blame you for what they are actually doing. Like when the wife gets accused of cheating. I used to get that one quite a bit in the last 3 to 4 years of the marriage. He would say, first it started off as an insecure, like asking me, do you have a boyfriend? Are you looking for a new man? And I would always, of course, reassure him, of course not, I'm not going anywhere, blah, blah, blah. That was back when I was still in the shared psychosis, thinking everything was normal. Then at one point toward the end, I joined a gym, and he accused me of joining the gym so that I could look for some new dick. That was why he thought I'd join the gym. And excuse me, when I was packing the suitcases for the kids and I the night that I left, he phrased it more like, "Are it sounds like you might have a boyfriend. Are you sure you don't have a boyfriend?" If I did have one, I'm not. I don't know how I wouldn't be sure about it, but that's how he phrased it. I also got another accusation the night that I left. Are you sure you're not on drugs? Of course, he was the one that was on drugs. Uh, you like doing the dishes more than you love me, or more than you like spending time with me. That I would get this one when I would be trying to do the end of the night routine, getting the leftovers put away, getting the dishes washed, getting the lunches made for the next day for the kids and I. And I wanted to get this done before I went and laid in the bed, because I knew as soon as I laid down, I'd fall asleep and then, wake up at like 1 in the morning, and all the food would still be sitting out and the dishes would still be in the sink. So I liked to get it done before I went to bed. Well, he would always pester me to come lay in bed with him and tickle his back while he fell asleep. Um, and when I would protest and say, I'd really just like to get the dishes done first before I lay down, that's what I would get. That there's something wrong with me and I like doing the dishes more than I like spending time with him. Um, King Infant came up with some good ones. Um, when I would complain that he went out, always made time for the guys on the weekends, always made time for his poker game with the guys on the weekend, and I would say, why don't you ever just stay home and spend time with us? I'm always stuck here with the kids, and you're going off, and it would be nice if we could, spend the weekends together as a family. And he would say, it's not my fault that you don't make plans with your friends. Or he would insinuate that if I wanted to do something, then it was my responsibility to make plans with other families for us to go do stuff with them. The problem is, my friends are normal and they have uh, mature, decent husbands. And so they do like normal grown up family things with other normal grown up families. And the thought of trying to make plans with these normal families that I was friends with the wives in this group, um, I knew he wouldn't fit in. He was going to embarrass me in some way. And so I didn't make plans with them, and I just kind of assumed that their husbands just wouldn't like him because of the way that he is. So that's why I never made plans with them. And these are women that I've been friends with since high school. One of them, in fact, I went all through grammar school with. And we keep in touch. We get together for dinner periodically, and we keep in touch. But as far as the couples thing, my husband and I never got us involved in couples activity with this group because I just knew he would not fit in. Um, when I brought up the fact of how the verbal abuse was getting worse, and I was asking him for the explosions to stop, and I brought up the fact of how I would speak about my sister and her abusive husband, and I would tell him, I'm not going to stay as long as she did. I'm not going to just stay and keep putting up with that. And he would try to turn the argument around and say, you're calling me, and then he would name her husband and say that I was comparing him to my brother-in-law, and how dare I do that, because everybody knows that he's a bad guy. And so if I'm saying he's doing something similar to him, then I'm saying he's a bad guy. And well, yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying. But he was pretty much doing the exact same thing to me that my brother-in-law did to my sister. So, um, when I brought up the fact in the aha moment video that I posted this morning, when I brought up the fact to him that I didn't think he liked me because he always insulted me whenever I expressed my opinion on anything or any kind of independent thought I had. And I was terrible for saying that, of course, because I was saying that he's a horrible person. Another favorite accusation of mine was, you always forget my stuff when you go to the store. Like if he would ask for something, or sometimes he'd ask for more than one thing, and if I didn't write it down, and I would have like a list going in my head of stuff I needed for me and the kids and stuff for the house, and I always would get myself in trouble when I try to go shopping without a list. And he was convinced that I purposely was not getting the thing that he asked for, and he didn't understand that, like, I really did just forget, like it was accidental, and I used to forget my own stuff that I wanted to get all the time, all the time. But he thought I was playing games and forgetting his stuff on purpose. So that's pretty much it. Accusing and blaming and projecting. Of course, yeah, when the accusing and blaming tactic is used, some of the times you can kind of tell what they're up to, because they're going to project onto you what they're doing to you, and they're going to say that you're the one doing it to them. And when they sound like a big hypocrite, they're usually accusing and blaming. So that's it for that one. Thank you very much for listening.